Imagine this. It's 1 year from today. You're sitting quietly, looking back at the last 12 months. What do you see? Do you feel proud of the person you become? Or do you feel regret for the opportunities missed? Now hold on to that thought for a moment, because today, I'm going to show you how this year can become the year that changes everything for you. The truth is, most people drift through their days without a clear plan, hoping life will magically improve. But hope is not a strategy, and time will not wait for you to decide. The difference between those who transform their lives and those who stay stuck is not luck, talent, or resources. It's a plan they commit to, one day at a time. And that's exactly what I want to give you today, a roadmap for the next 365 days that will set you on the path to extraordinary success. Let me tell you a quick story. Years ago, I met a man at one of my seminars who seemed defeated. He told me, "Brian, I've wasted so much time. I've let my dreams slip away. Is it too late to start over?" He had this heavy sadness in his eyes. The kind you get when you've convinced yourself that your best days are behind you. But do you know what I told him? I said, "Your life can change dramatically in 1 year. Not 5, not 10, just 1 year. But you must commit to the process. You must decide to take charge, starting today." And he did. A year later, he came back to another seminar. I barely recognized him. His energy was different. His posture, his confidence, everything about him had changed. He shared how he had followed a simple step-by-step plan, stayed consistent, and as a result, completely transformed his life. And today, I'm going to share the exact principles he used, so you can write your own success story. This journey will be broken into 10 steps, each one focusing on a critical aspect of your growth, your vision, your goals, your mindset, your habits, and more. Each step builds on the last, and by the end, you'll have the tools and clarity to create the life you've always wanted. But I'll warn you, this is not for the faint of heart. Transformation requires effort, commitment, and the willingness to let go of old excuses. Are you ready to begin? Let me ask you this, where do you want to be 1 year from today? Picture your life. Are you thriving, achieving your goals, and feeling fulfilled? Or are you in the same place, wondering where the time went? This is your moment to decide. Success begins with a clear vision, one that acts as a compass to guide you through the next 12 months. Without it, you'll drift. But with it, you can take control of your life and move in the direction you truly desire. Transformation doesn't happen by chance. It happens by design. To change your life in 1 year, you must first create a vision so vivid, so compelling, that it pulls you forward, even on the hardest days. But clarity is key. A blurry vision leads to blurry results. I remember working with a woman named Linda. She was in her late 30s, stuck in a job she didn't enjoy, and feeling disconnected from her dreams. When I asked her what she wanted from the next year, her answer was vague. "I just want things to get better." I looked at her and said, "Linda, if you can't define what better looks like, how will you ever know when you've arrived?" That question sparked something in her. She went home and started imagining what her ideal life could look like by the end of the year. She envisioned a career she was passionate about, a healthier lifestyle, and stronger relationships. For the first time in years, she felt a sense of direction. And within a year, her life had completely transformed. All because she created a clear vision and committed to it. Now, it's your turn. Take a moment to imagine the life you truly want. Not the life you've settled for, but the one you dream of. What does it look like? What are you doing? How are you spending your time? Who are you becoming? This is your starting point, the foundation of transformation. A clear vision is like a map. Without it, you're lost. But with it, you have the confidence to navigate any obstacle. Here's what I want you to do today. Sit down in a quiet place, free of distractions. Close your eyes and imagine it's December 31st. 1 year from now. You're looking back at the most incredible year of your life. What have you accomplished? What has changed? How do you feel? Write it all down as if it's already happened. Be specific. Describe your career, your health, your relationships, your finances, and your personal growth in vivid detail. Then, keep that vision with you. Read it every morning and every night. Let it guide your decisions and inspire your actions. Your vision is the first step, but it's only the beginning. To make it a reality, you need a plan. You need commitment. And in the next part, we'll dive into the power of setting goals that are non-negotiable. Goals that align with your vision and ensure your success. Let's continue. Now that you've created a clear vision for the year ahead, the next step is critical setting non-negotiable goals. These aren't just dreams or wishes, these are promises you make to yourself, commitments you will honor no matter what challenges arise. Let me ask you this: what are the specific, measurable results you need to achieve to bring your vision to life? Without clear goals, even the strongest vision remains just an idea. But when you attach goals to your vision, it becomes a roadmap guiding you to success. Imagine this: you're driving through a dense fog with no GPS, no map, and no signs. How confident would you feel about reaching your destination? That's what life feels like without clear goals. But when you set specific, actionable goals, it's like turning on the headlights, clearing the fog, and seeing the road ahead. So let's make your path crystal clear. I once worked with a young professional named Mark. He was ambitious and full of energy, but constantly frustrated. Every year, he'd tell himself, "This is the year I'm going to change everything," but by the end of the year, he was always in the same spot. When we sat down to talk, I asked him one simple question: what are your top 3 goals for this year? Mark hesitated and said, "Well, I want to improve my career, get in shape, and save money." I nodded and replied, "Those are good intentions, but they're not goals." A goal must be specific, measurable, and have a deadline. That conversation changed everything for him. Mark went back and redefined his goals. Instead of saying, "I want to improve my career," he wrote, "I will earn a promotion to manager by October 31st. Instead of "I want to get in shape," he committed to working out 4 times a week and losing 20 pounds by December. Instead of "I want to save money," he set a goal to save $5. 000 by year end by setting aside $400 each month. By the end of that year, Mark wasn't just wishing for success, he was living it. Now, I want you to think about your vision. What are the 3 most important results you need to achieve to make it a reality? Write them down. Make them clear, measurable, and time-bound. Don't say, "I want to grow my business." Instead, write, "I will increase revenue by 30% by December 31st. Don't say, "I want to be healthier." Write, "I will walk 10,000 steps every day and lose 15 pounds by June." Ask yourself this: are these goals non-negotiable? Because they need to be. You must commit to them as if your life depends on it. And here's the key: your commitment doesn't mean it will always be easy, but it does mean you will keep going no matter what. Once you set your goals, break them down into smaller steps. What actions can you take this week, this month, or even today to move closer to your goals? Remember, small, consistent actions lead to extraordinary results over time. But there's one more thing: accountability. Share your goals with someone you trust, someone who will encourage you and hold you accountable. When others know about your commitments, you'll feel even more driven to follow through. As you sit down to define your goals, remember this: your goals aren't just about achieving results, they're about becoming the person who can achieve them. Every time you commit to a goal, you're committing to a better version of yourself. Now that you've set your goals and made them non-negotiable, the next step is turning those goals into consistent habits. Because success isn't built in a single day, it's built every single day. In the next part, we'll talk about mastering your daily routines to create unstoppable momentum. Let's move forward together. You've created a clear vision. You've set non-negotiable goals. Now there's one final ingredient that will make all the difference in your journey: your daily routine. Let me ask you this: what does your average day look like? Do you wake up with a sense of purpose, or do you stumble into your day without any real plan? Your routine is the foundation of your success. What you do each day, the habits you build, will either propel you toward your goals or pull you away from them. Think about it for a moment. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. It's not the amount of time we have, it's what we choose to do with it that defines our success. If you want to transform your life, you must master your daily routine. It's the small actions done consistently over time that lead to massive results. John's routine wasn't glamorous. He didn't wake up to a grand breakfast or rush to some extravagant event. His day started with a simple routine. He woke up at 5 a.m., meditated for 10 minutes, then read for 30 minutes. By 7 a.m., he was in the gym working out, and by 8 a.m., he was at his desk, working with laser focus until noon. He followed that same routine every single day. I'm not saying you need to wake up at 5 a.m. or follow John's exact routine, but you must create a daily routine that serves your goals, that aligns with your vision, and that sets you up for success. I want you to look at your own daily routine right now. Is it moving you closer to your goals, or is it just keeping you busy? Think about how much time do you waste every day distracted by things that won't help you achieve your vision. Time once lost can never be regained. So every action, every moment must count. If you want to change your life, you need to become intentional with your time. Your daily habits will shape your future. Start by making small, intentional changes in your routine. Whether it's waking up earlier, taking regular breaks, or focusing on the most important task first, every small change you make will add up. When you do this consistently, momentum will build, and it will drive you toward your goals. Remember this: It's the small actions performed consistently that will lead to the biggest results. Success is not an event. It's a process. And that process begins with mastering your routine. If you commit to this, you'll create unstoppable momentum. Momentum that will carry you through the tough times and push you forward even when the road gets rough. Once you've mastered your daily routine, you'll find that obstacles and distractions will still come. In the next part, we'll talk about how to overcome challenges and stay focused on your goals, no matter what life throws your way. Let's continue this journey together. Let me ask you something. How do you respond when you face obstacles? When things don't go as planned, when the road gets tough, how do you handle it? Do you give up, or do you push through? Challenges are inevitable. Life will test you. Things will go wrong. You'll face setbacks, distractions, and even moments of doubt. But your ability to stay focused and overcome these challenges is what will separate you from those who give up and those who succeed. Imagine you're on a long journey, and the road is winding, steep, and filled with obstacles. There are moments when it feels like you'll never reach your destination. You'll be tempted to stop, to turn back. But in those moments, you have a choice. You can either give in to the difficulties, or you can choose to keep moving forward. Success, my friends, is not about avoiding obstacles. It's about how you respond to them. How you handle the challenges that come your way will define your path. I remember a time in my own life when things didn't go according to plan. I had invested time, energy, and resources into a new project, but nothing was working. My vision felt blurry, and the setbacks were piling up. I felt frustrated and defeated. But then I realized something. The challenges I was facing were not the end, they were part of the process. I chose to keep going. I focused on the steps I could control, and I broke down my goals into smaller, manageable tasks. Slowly, things began to shift. The more I focused on the process, the more momentum I built. And eventually, what seemed impossible became reality. Now, I want you to think about your own journey. Have you faced challenges that have made you question your path? Have you ever felt like giving up? But here's the truth, you're never more than one decision away from getting back on track. The key is staying focused. When the going gets tough, don't give up on your vision. Instead, take a deep breath, assess the situation, and take the next small step forward. It's the consistent, small actions that will keep you moving toward your goals, even when it feels like progress is slow. Don't let the setbacks define you. Let them strengthen your resolve. Next time you face a challenge, remember these obstacles are not roadblocks, they are stepping stones. They are opportunities to grow, to learn, and to become stronger. Embrace them. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What's the next step I can take to keep moving forward? If you can stay focused in the face of adversity, if you can keep your eyes on your goals and never lose sight of your vision, you will come out stronger on the other side. Obstacles are part of the process. They are not a reason to quit, they are a reason to keep going. As you continue on your journey, remember that every challenge you face is an opportunity to prove to yourself just how committed you are to your vision. Your ability to stay focused, even when times are tough, will be the key to your success. Success is not about avoiding challenges, it's about learning how to overcome them. It's about getting back up every time you fall and choosing to move forward no matter what. Let me ask you something, how do you keep going when the initial excitement of a new goal starts to fade? When you first set a big goal, it's easy to feel energized. There's a spark. You can see the vision clearly, and you're filled with enthusiasm. But after a while, that excitement tends to wear off. The newness of the challenge fades, and the daily grind sets in. So how do you stay motivated when that initial rush is no longer there? You've probably experienced this before. You start a new project with passion, and you're full of energy, but then day by day, the enthusiasm slowly dissipates. That's when most people give up. They think they've lost their drive, but here's the truth. Motivation doesn't always come in the form of excitement. Sometimes motivation is about the decision to keep going, even when you don't feel like it. It's about consistency. I want to share with you a story. Years ago, I decided to take on a personal fitness challenge. At first, I was excited. I had a clear vision of what I wanted to achieve, and the first few days were filled with energy. But after the initial excitement wore off, there were days when I didn't feel like working out. I was tired, and the thought of pushing myself through another tough workout didn't sound appealing. But I made a promise to myself. I promised that I would show up, even when I didn't feel like it. I committed to the process. There were days when I didn't see immediate results, when it felt like I was putting in effort without gaining much in return. But the key was this, I kept going. I reminded myself that success is built on consistency, not on fleeting moments of excitement. Over time, those small, consistent actions added up. I didn't wait for motivation to strike, I created it through my commitment and discipline. Now, think about your own goals. Have you ever felt the excitement fade? Have you ever found yourself struggling to stay motivated when the results weren't immediate? It's completely normal. Motivation comes and goes. But discipline and consistency are the true keys to long-term success. When you commit to the process, regardless of how you feel in the moment, you create the momentum that will keep you moving forward. So the next time you feel that initial excitement start to fade, don't give up. Recognize that it's part of the journey. Embrace the routine, the daily actions, and the small steps. The motivation will return, not in a flash of energy, but in the steady progress you see over time. The key is to keep showing up, even when you don't feel like it. And remember, this progress is progress, no matter how small. Consistency will always carry you through. Motivation isn't always something you can rely on. But discipline, consistency, and commitment, those are things you can control. And when you keep going, even when it's hard, you build a powerful sense of momentum. That momentum will carry you through the difficult times and help you reach the success you've been working so hard for. Let's take a moment to reflect. We've talked about motivation, staying focused, and even overcoming obstacles. But there's one element that ties it all together: discipline. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and your accomplishments. Without it, motivation fades, distractions take over, and progress slows down. So what does it truly mean to be disciplined? And how can it unlock your full potential? Think about something in your life you've been working toward. Maybe it's a personal goal, a professional ambition, or something you've always dreamed of achieving. Now let me ask you, how disciplined have you been in your efforts to achieve that goal? Discipline is not about doing something once or twice when you feel like it. It's about showing up every single day, consistently putting in the work, even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it. It's in the small, consistent actions that we build our success. I'll share with you a story from my own life. Years ago, I was working on a goal that required me to read and study every single day. At first, it felt exciting. I had the energy, the motivation, and the drive to learn and grow. But over time, that motivation began to fade. And I found myself facing distractions, other priorities, and moments when I just didn't feel like putting in the effort. But here's the turning point: I made a decision. I realized that in order to achieve anything worthwhile, consistency was key. I committed to making reading a non-negotiable part of my day. Even when I didn't feel like it, I did it anyway. And what happened? Over time, I became more knowledgeable, more confident, and more capable. Those small, consistent actions unlocked a new level of potential within me. Now, I want you to think about your own life. Where can you apply discipline to unlock your true potential? What habits can you commit to? Not just for a week or a month, but for the long term. Discipline isn't always glamorous. It's not about big, flashy moments. It's about the everyday, behind-the-scenes actions that no one else sees. But those small actions, when done consistently, create massive change over time. So today, make the decision to embrace discipline in your life. It's the small daily actions that will add up and create the success you're striving for. And let me tell you this: you have the power to discipline yourself. You have the power to show up every day, regardless of how you feel. The secret to unlocking your potential is in your daily habits. Commit to those habits and you'll see your life transform. Remember, success is not about grand gestures, it's about consistency. Discipline is the key that unlocks your potential. When you show up every day, when you make the small actions part of your routine, you create a foundation for success. And with that foundation, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Let me ask you this: what happens when things don't go as planned? What do you do when you face obstacles, challenges, or setbacks? Do you quit? Do you give up? Or do you look at those challenges and decide to turn them into opportunities? This is a defining moment in your journey, a moment where you have the power to choose how you respond. Obstacles are part of life. No matter who you are or where you come from, you will face difficulties. It's not a matter of if, but when. The question is, how do you handle them? Do you let them stop you, or do you see them as stepping stones, each one pushing you closer to the success you desire? Years ago, I encountered a challenge in my own life. I had set a major goal and everything seemed to be moving in the right direction, until suddenly I faced an unexpected setback. I felt discouraged. I questioned everything. But then, I took a step back and realized something important. This obstacle didn't have to be the end of the road. It could be the beginning of something even greater. I asked myself, what can I learn from this? How can this setback help me grow? And that shift in perspective changed everything. I didn't let the challenge define me. Instead, I used it as fuel to push forward. I turned that obstacle into a stepping stone, and as a result, I grew stronger and more determined than ever before. I know that setbacks and obstacles can feel overwhelming at times. It's easy to get discouraged, especially when things don't go as planned. But I want you to understand this: every challenge you face is an opportunity for growth. Every time you encounter an obstacle, you have a choice. You can either let it hold you back, or you can use it to propel you forward. Today, I challenge you to look at the obstacles in your life in a different light. Instead of seeing them as roadblocks, see them as opportunities to learn, to grow, and to become stronger. Embrace the challenges that come your way. They are not there to stop you, they are there to shape you, to make you better, and to prepare you for the success that lies ahead. Remember, it's not the challenges that define us, it's how we respond to them. The obstacles you face today are not permanent. They are temporary. And with the right mindset, you can turn each one into a stepping stone on your journey to success. Keep pushing forward, stay resilient, and let each challenge strengthen your resolve. Now, let's take a step back and reflect. You've set your goals, you've committed to discipline and consistency, you've faced challenges, and you've turned them into opportunities. But how do you know if you're truly making progress? How do you know if you're moving closer to the life you've envisioned? The answer is simple: tracking your progress. Let me ask you, how often do you check in with yourself? How often do you pause, look back, and assess where you are versus where you want to be? It's a critical part of the journey, and it's something many people overlook. Tracking progress is not just about looking at where you've been, but also about celebrating your wins and making necessary adjustments to your plan. Tracking your progress gives you valuable insights. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of everyday life, focusing so much on the future that you forget to acknowledge how far you've come. But celebrating your wins, no matter how small, reinforces the belief that you are on the right path. It gives you the momentum to keep moving forward. At the same time, tracking your progress allows you to adjust your plan when things aren't going as expected. Maybe there's a better way. Maybe the goal needs tweaking. Or perhaps you've learned something along the way that requires a shift in direction. That's okay. Progress isn't a straight line, but a journey that requires reflection and adjustment. I remember a time when I was working on a major project. I had a vision and I had a plan. But somewhere along the way, I hit a wall. The results weren't coming as quickly as I had hoped, and I started to feel discouraged. But instead of just pushing harder without thinking, I decided to take a step back. I tracked my progress and realized that I had made significant strides, even if they weren't as visible as I expected. More importantly, I saw areas where I could improve. I adjusted my approach, refined my plan, and took a different route. That adjustment made all the difference. The next phase of the project moved forward with renewed clarity and purpose. You too can use the power of tracking to create a clearer path forward. Look back at where you've been. What progress have you made? Celebrate those wins, no matter how small they seem. They are a reflection of your hard work, your discipline, and your commitment. But also, take the time to adjust when necessary. Life doesn't always unfold as we expect, and that's okay. Sometimes you need to pivot, to change your course, or to refine your approach. Tracking your progress is about creating space for both celebration and growth. So today I encourage you to track your progress regularly. Set aside time to reflect on where you are and where you're going. Celebrate your wins, and don't be afraid to adjust your plan when needed. You are in control of this journey, and by tracking your progress, you ensure that you're always moving forward. Remember, success isn't about perfection. It's about consistent progress. Tracking your journey allows you to see how far you've come, recognize what's working, and make the necessary changes to stay on track. Celebrate each win along the way, because each step forward is a step closer to the person you are becoming. Now that you've made it through the year, now that you've experienced growth, challenges, and transformation, the question remains: how do you keep this momentum going? How do you take everything you've learned and make sure that your success doesn't stop after the year ends? This is the most important phase, the final transformation. It's about sustaining success, not just for the next few months, but for the rest of your life. And I'll tell you something that may surprise you: success is not a destination. It's a journey. It's a mindset. And it's a process that never ends. The key is to continue evolving, to keep growing, and to never stop striving to be your best. Let me share something with you. Success is not about achieving everything on your list and then stopping. It's about making those achievements part of who you are. It's about integrating your growth, your discipline, your habits into your daily life. And here's the truth. If you want lasting success, you have to make it a part of your identity. It's not something you do occasionally, it's something you become. I remember a moment years ago when I had achieved a significant goal. I felt elated, proud of myself. But I soon realized that the joy of reaching that goal wasn't as fulfilling as I thought it would be. The reason? I had forgotten to keep growing, to keep moving forward. I was focused so much on the finish line that I neglected to ask, what comes next? That's when I made a decision. I decided that I would never again think of success as a destination, but as a continual journey. I began setting new goals, expanding my vision, and looking for ways to constantly improve. And that decision to keep evolving transformed my life in ways I could never have imagined. I want you to take a moment and reflect on this. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? The success you've achieved this year, can you keep it going? Can you make it a permanent part of who you are? The answer is yes, but only if you keep growing, if you continue to challenge yourself, and if you make a habit of success. Today, I challenge you to think beyond this year. What's next for you? How will you continue to grow, to evolve, and to sustain the success you've worked so hard for? You have the power to shape your future. You have the ability to create lasting change. It starts with making success a habit, making it part of who you are, and always striving for more. Don't let this year be the end of your journey. Let it be the beginning of something even greater. Remember, transformation is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process. The lessons you've learned this year are just the beginning. The discipline, the growth. The new habits, they all lay the foundation for your continued success. But you must stay committed to your journey. You must keep setting new goals, keep evolving, and never stop striving for excellence. As we come to the end of this journey, I want to leave you with one final thought. Transformation is not something that happens overnight. It's a process, a series of small decisions, each one leading you closer to the person you were always meant to be. Success isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about making progress, staying consistent, and continually learning from both your wins and your setbacks. And as you step forward into the future, remember that you hold the power to shape your destiny. You are the author of your story, and each day is a new opportunity to write a better chapter. So as you continue on this journey, don't forget to celebrate the victories, however small they may seem, and use every challenge as a lesson to propel you forward. Keep your vision clear, your actions disciplined, and your heart open to growth. The road ahead will be full of opportunities, and I have no doubt that you will take them. The transformation you've begun here is just the beginning, and your best days are still ahead. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I believe in you, and I know that you are capable of achieving great things. Now, it's your time to go out and make them happen.